Well, we wanted the cameras to be able to see you, so.
Yeah, I wanted to say, you get a car, and you get a car, and you get a car. How about that?
Thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me.
I was looking on your website. You addressed the conflict between the state and the city at this point.
Yeah.
You talk about that as sort of being based on the decision the council made about the Republican National Convention. But there is a lot of conflict that predates that. There was the redistricting, there was anti-discrimination, there was inclusionary zoning.
Yeah.
So do you think it's realistic that opening lines of communication to the state could help prevent attacks?
Well, I mean, my mother has always said, don't poke the bear, okay? The bear is already angry, or the bear is already a big bear. So poking the bear doesn't make it any better, okay? So I can't just say that nothing would have never happened regardless, because they had a strategy, they had an approach to what they wanted to do. It could have exacerbated the approach, and it could have made them say, well, hell, I'm sorry.
Adults only, I think.
Put the beep in that one. It may want to say, well, if they're going to do that, we're going to do this. But when we look at that vote, irregardless of what they were going to do, at the end of the day, the council voted against opportunities. They voted against jobs. They voted against bringing economic advancement in reference to downtown and for the entire city. I mean, the person who makes the drinks and cooks the dinners and brings them out to your table, all of them could have had some really good tips for some drunk Republicans, right? But my point is that they voted against opportunities, and we're a two-party nation, all right? And we've been having DNC and RNC events for years. I know what may have made the difference, but it doesn't mean that we can't entertain the difference. We're more same than more different. We may have different religious beliefs, but we also, at the end of the day, we bleed the same. And I think that was an opportunity miss.
So, as assessor, you've seen property values in the city skyrocket, unrelated to your job.
Yeah,
that was out of your
money
control.
In this city, I tell you.
We've also seen the appeals on those assessments be extremely successful, especially with commercial property owners. So as I know we've talked about this before, about that being the purview of the Board of Equalization. So would you make changes to that board as mayor to try to reduce the number of reductions that are granted, millions of dollars that are going out the door?
Well, the objective of having boards is to provide a fair decision that promotes everything in reference to how we operate as the government. Why would I change the board except I want the board to be fair? Now, I would take a look and see how they were making those decisions. I think as a mayor, I need to be able to say, okay, now why would you give $50 million reduction to Opry Mills? What was the reason for that? The same way I would ask the question about the health board, the benefit board, where they made the decision regarding the health transformation. I would want to know, why did they do that? I mean, it's very important that we get to the bottom of that. And then, of course, promote the vision of the mayor. The Independent Metro Board of Equalization did make a decision in reference to giving a lot of reductions for various commercial properties. As the assessor of property, I had the authority to appeal their decision, and we did. We appealed their decision, so there is a checks and balance in that place. But getting people to volunteer is kind of hard. And you want people that, you want to appreciate what they give to the city. And, but at the same time, when you're serving as a volunteer, you are not above being questioned in reference to why you did what you did. But we put you there because of the fact we believe that you will be honest, You will have a great approach in reference to looking at the problem itself, and you'll be fair in rendering that decision.
Do you think participatory budgeting is working? Do you think it's necessary?
Anytime you give the community the opportunity to speak on how you're going to spend their dollars is very important. So it's helpful. I do believe that it is helpful. How many of you would like to have a pay raise? Oh, wow. You don't? Nobody? I'm going to ask the question again. Drink number 2. How many people would like to have a pay raise? You know?
My boss is here, so.
And your hands is not going up? What's up there? But my point is that the reason why I say that is because that's what we're going to hear from employees. They want to have a pay raise, and they think they're doing a good job, and they are. So we're not going to listen to them. Then why do we have them there?
How do you pay for it? Pay raises and...
It would be priority. How I pay for it is the way you pay for everything else. You make it a priority. This business right here, wonderful business, wish I could have a drink because I got 50 more forms to do. So I must be on my game tomorrow, and I'm probably getting 3 requests as I sit here. But this business right here has amazing staff. I've already met one young lady over there that works 2 jobs or had worked downtown. 3, oh my gosh, come work for me. No, but your external employees are the Metro employees. They are your external employees. You should care about them. If those roads are not paved, they can't come here to Fat Bottom Brewery and have a great drink. If the trash is not picked up, I'm not going to come into Fat Bottom Brewery if they have trash laying on the front of their business. So it's important that we definitely give pay raises and give competitive incentives, pay incentives, to Metro employees because they are the ones that are helping make this city great. Would you not agree with that? Yes. If you don't clap, that means you don't agree with that.
So if pay raises are going to be a big priority for you, what that are current priorities would get bumped down the list?
Well, I can't say that any priorities will get bumped down the list. We're just going to have to look at those other priorities, which is affordable housing. Of course, if you got good good pay, then you'll be able to afford where you live. And listen, I'm going to give credit to this administration because they've been doing the job in reference to increasing the pay of Metro employees. First administration has ever done it has brought up the salary. Brought up the per hour the hourly pay from living wage, from minimum wage to living wages. That's phenomenal. I mean, for us to be doing that for all this time and not increase it to living wages. However, we got to keep adding to that. Because if you don't do it in the next year or anything like that, they're just right back down in the bucket where they were before. We have to make them a priority. And in reference to the other priorities, we will work with those too as well. We can do it.
All right.
You sound like you're not convinced.
Well, the money's got to come from somewhere, right?
Well, just vote for me and we'll find out.
So we've talked a lot about the Titans and these other big deals.
Sure.
One of the complaints from people on council was that they weren't more involved in the negotiations. So it was sort of take this deal or don't.
Yeah.
Is there a way to involve the community or the council in those big discussions earlier in the process?
Yes, this is the way to do it, and it was done when I was a 2-term council person from 2003 to 2011. You know, Mayor Purcell would bring us in and talk about his initiatives and or whatever that's the case that, you know, he wanted us to vote for. Because he lobbied us along with everyone else, and so did Carl Dean. Mayor Purcell was really good at it. And at the end of the day, you know, we talked about what we wanted for our neighborhood. We had to negotiate what we wanted for our neighborhoods. It was very difficult for me to vote for the convention center. It was. None of my district was going to come back downtown and to come to the convention center. So, you know, I talked about we need a new fire hall. We need a traffic light. And I named all the other things that were not getting done because it was politics being paid over people. And that's not good. Our communities deserve to have the services that help to make their neighborhood thrive. And we must continue to make our neighborhoods stronger, which is why I'm running on stronger neighborhoods and stronger businesses. We can have both.
That's about the time we have. Is there anything real quick you'd like to say?
I'm Vivian Wilhoite, and I ask you for your vote. I'm running on the platform of stronger neighborhoods and stronger businesses. For so long, those have been two competing entities, and I don't know why. We gotta have them both. If you wanna have a great neighborhood, you want a great job, so that business must thrive. If you wanna have a great job, you're gonna wanna live in a great neighborhood. So why can't we have both? I do believe that we can, and we will. I'm Vivian Wilhoite. I ask for your vote for mayor. Vivian, mayor. Thank you.
Thank you very much.